Welcome to Kinky Knots Cafe. Proactive is the way, where we provide you tools and resources to enhance your mind, body, and spirit. Get ready, folks. Let us nurture you from the inside out. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Proactive is the Way. Today, we are wrapping up our series on how to fail forward by embracing setbacks on the road to success. A couple of weeks ago, I provided an overview of our featured book this month, Failing Up: How to Take Risks, Aim Higher, and Never Stop Learning by Leslie Odom Jr. If you did not have an opportunity to read the book, I provided a high-level overview that hopefully will jumpstart your desire to buy it or pick it back up to finish it. I read through it and actually just completed listening to it a second time today. It's a quick read with captivating anecdotes that are sure to keep your attention and, most importantly, inspire you. Today, Tiffany has joined us to share her perspective on this book and how to be more open to taking risks. Let's dive in. Hey, Tiff, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Girl, tired. Well,
No, when you work hard, that's the reward.
is that the reward? I get to, well, the reward is hopefully sleep. I hope I get to sleep. Lay it down. But had the kids out at the park and it was just
Oh, how was that?
it was really, really nice. Yeah, they wanted to practice their little soccer.
Oh, good. How they doing? They wanted us to call them footwork, huh? They want to get their nickname
Oh,
engraved.
right. What do we call the other little boy?
Foot, footwork.
Oh, do
And
we call him? Okay, you called him foot.
I was calling them footwork.
Boy, what is yourself? I've been
They're
fancy.
like, we want a nickname. We better get out there and do something to earn it.
Oh my
Right.
goodness. No, they I didn't have them in sports, right? So they last year, was it last year? No, just this season actually, picked up basketball and in the winter picked up basketball. So they were, trying to learn that. And then soccer. And it was cute. Yesterday they were playing against each other. But you know who the hidden gem is? If I could just pause for a minute, is Aja. I
Well,
was like,
always. It's always the older
I-
sibling.
the older sibling and the one who just don't like sports. I was like, you're the one, you don't like it, but when you're out doing it, you could just see all this hidden
It's
talent.
natural.
It's supernatural. Like she don't have to think about it. And she just does it well. And I was like, and you don't even like sports. Really?
Right. You
But
don't like sports at all?
I told her, I said, when you go to college, why don't you try and pick it up? Can you?
Intramural or something,
Exactly.
just to, make friends and meet
Yes. Yeah.
network.
So I can't wait till she get out of here and get to school. I was like, please check it out because she's actually choosing her schools based on the recreation centers. What type of recreation centers they had?
You would love UCLA.
Oh, would she? She
Hmm.
didn't want to look at that school. She wanted, I think she's landed. So we're supposed to go look at the school she's landed on in a couple weeks. So we'll see. Hopefully she'll pick up intramural sports. But anyways, sorry folks, we digressed. But wanted to get back into talking about Leslie's book. Why don't we start with what did you think about Leslie's memoir? Can I call it a memoir? It's a memoir. He doesn't call it a memoir, but it
Well,
really.
because he's telling a story, and he's telling his story of really how he developed into the person we know today.
Mhm.
Um, I guess we can call it that. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the, I guess, what is the formal definition of a memoir? That's really like a,
You writing about your life. That's why I called it that. But what did you think about it?
Oh, I thought it was extremely powerful, and there were a lot of things I could relate to um, with him. And
Mhm.
um, I know we discussed things before we start uh, about how um, I felt like his story was kind of similar to mine.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, it's funny you said that. While I was reading it, I was like, boy, if this don't sound like Tiffany. I swear, God is my witness. I was like, this sounds like Tiffany.
Not even from like the performing arts aspect.
Uh-huh.
I was thinking of like his drive and his determination and
Yeah,
how
no, he was his character as a person.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the different people and the different events, circumstances that molded him or groomed him.
When he was a kid, did you, it made, that's what it started off with, right? So when he was talking about him as a kid and how he had a mentor, his teacher, who really changed his life, right? Because he was this outspoken, he felt like teachers don't get automatic authority. It's almost like you have to earn that, you have to earn the respect, etc. And he was just, it just remind when I read that part, I was like, boy, this sounds like Tiffany, and how his teacher ended up becoming his mentor and really grooming him into, taking on the various roles that he did throughout his life, which was pretty interesting. Yeah, but I'll say I really enjoyed this book. I was just sharing with you earlier, like I chose a memoir this time because I really just wanted to hear stories, stories that helped us to understand, well, how do folks overcome certain aspects of their life? And I'm so happy I chose him. I didn't know anything about this guy. I don't even, I didn't, all the things that he was in, I was like, really? He was in that? Oh, he was in that. Now that I think about some of the episodes that I watched on TV, I was like, oh yeah, I think I recall him. Um, but I didn't know anything about him, and I'm happy I picked up the book. Number one, it was well written.
Mhm.
Number
Well,
two,
you know, I listened to him, so
yeah, well, yeah, but even I mean, even with you listening, that's it, the way he dictated his book was the way it was written, and I enjoyed it enough to read it and then listen to it. His delivery, and I
oh
said
yeah.
his background as a oratorical, I think it was in debates.
Mhm.
He delivered it very well to where it was
Mhm.
captivating, etc. And then, of course, the stories that he provided was very authentic. He was very open. It felt I felt like I knew him. You know,
Mhm.
I
He connects it. The way that he presented his work, he does connect with his audience.
So, in this book, what were some key points you found that he addressed that kind of really spoke to you?
That really spoke to me. So one of the major ones that I said, wow, that's and it was the way he framed it. Um, that was that to me was like, I was like, I kind of resented at first, kind of got upset with it because sometimes it does not seem like, and just let me tell you what it was. It was the work you put in when no one is watching will matter far more than the work you do when the cameras are rolling.
Okay.
Um, I kind of like felt some resentment about working hard because I've always worked hard with no one watching.
Mm-hmm.
And um, I don't think that I felt like still like hard work mattered when you're looking around at other things. And this is just from my experience,
Mhm.
not but then I had to dig deeper and see what he was saying. How it wasn't, I was just looking at it more very simplistic. If you dig a little deeper into the quote, you'll see that he's talking about preparation. He's talking about those greats, those goats
Mhm.
um, that are that stand way out in the field away from the other goats.
Mhm.
For example, like the Kobe Bryants,
Mhm.
um, himself.
Right.
Um, but he was talking more about preparation and how that focus, that time spent doing that is what makes you the GOAT.
Well, and and I think he also shared that because so many people do things for the
Mhm.
camera, right? So things and it appears that they've done a lot and they really have not, right? They really
Mhm.
have not took the time to work behind the scenes, but only when the camera is on them do they perform.
Right.
So, and he's basically helping us to understand that, don't be so concerned about that. Really, really take a moment to really develop yourself behind the scenes so that no matter what platform you're on and no matter what environment you're in, you will it'll be natural, it'll be authentic versus this and I can give an example. There's this one individual that I I'm not going to name any names, but there's this one individual who really, they put all of their business, everything that they do out there, but I don't feel like this individual worked as hard as it appeared,
Oh,
right? Behind the scenes. But they like it's no different than when folks sharing their lives, right? Like it's a facade.
um,
They put an imagery on that they are this hard worker, that they have this amazing family, but behind the scenes, there's no substance. There's nothing there. And as time goes on, those type of individuals will disappear. It's not sustainable
or
when
what they're doing, even if they don't disappear, the things that they're doing are not sustainable. Um,
correct. It won't be sustainable. And I just feel like he was sharing, make sure that you're not so caught up in being seen, but you really are putting in work to truly develop yourself. Because in the long run, when you're really behind the scenes, truly developing yourselves, and you're not this type of individual who's putting on airs and a facade, you're more likely to be sustainable. And because you'll put in work, you'll put very similar to it within his story. When he came to a turning point within his life, he was able to lean on all of the work that he did previously to transition into other areas with
mhm.
his life. And so, and I get it. I get why people do that because individuals, I get why people put on the facade, etc., because they feel like that will help to advance and um, propel their visibility, their life, and in a manner for them to be seen. But over time, it doesn't last. It's
Another discussion for another day is that how bad people want to be validated. Like as opposed to just, like sharing your talents or sharing your sharing your gifts,
right.
right? Because he talked about what we have as being gifts.
Yes.
Um,
That are natural. These are your natural gifts, but even though you have these natural gifts, make sure that you continue to work on improving within your gift. Make
Mhm.
sure that you don't just lean on that gift just because it's inherent. Make sure that you are actually continuously developing it.
Mhm.
So yeah, I appreciated that respective aspect of what he was sharing. Was there anything else, some other key points that really
Yeah.
you?
Um, Another one, and I think I touched on it with you. I only have two other ones, but that I was really thinking of is like who are you dreaming for today? So that was really important for me because as we grew up, like I was a people pleaser, right? And I'm just taking in my own interpretation of this. But I don't know if you remember our cousin Deep, right?
Yes. Okay.
Right, and how
Mhm.
far he's come, right? But do you remember all the stuff he used to do when we were little? Um,
Yes. But I think that was a part of acting out as a child, right? He didn't.
yeah, but I want to say something very positive about him that even though along his way and his challenges,
Mhm.
um, I will never forget what he told me about not letting someone else sell you their dreams.
Mhm.
And so from Leslie Odom's um, presentation of that same concept,
Mhm.
I that resonated with me
Mhm.
because I'm a people pleaser, and with our parents, like they wanted to see us very, very successful. Do I feel very successful? I don't know that I do. I'm thankful. I'm grateful. Successful. I just like I don't know. What's the
Your definition. And that's another thing we have to talk about.
right? Because we have all these definitions. Yeah.
Mhm. We define success on what the Joneses are doing, right? And the reality is that success is not defined by what you see in others. Success is going to be defined by what you define as success, right?
Right. So I'm seeing, yeah, like, so I'm really hard on myself then.
Mhm.
Um, because I've met some of my major goals. But anyway, so let's,
Exactly. You see what you just said?
yeah,
You have goals, right? And whatever goals that you have developed and that you aspire to do are going to define your overall success. Because
right,
really don't sit there and look at the Joneses and see what they're doing, trying to catch up and do what they're doing. You are going to be disappointed and lack fulfillment, right?
right.
So you set your goals. And as you're working through your goals, each time you complete, I mean, it could be it could be trivial to me, but mean a lot to you. And if you accomplish it, that's success. It's that simple. It's that simple.
So that was one of his quotes, and I use D as an example because he taught me that a very long time ago. And it evolved for me over time. Um, I've always been a, a thinker. I've
Hmm.
always been someone who was willing to take risk and actually stand by myself. I wasn't really scared of that. People were trying to get me to fear that.
Right.
Um, oh, he used another quote about fear too.
Hmm.
Ah, but anyway, yeah. So let me go back to it real quick. So I'm dreaming for me.
Okay.
I'm dreaming for me. Before it was all about my parents heavily influenced our parents, I should say,
Hmm.
heavily influenced
Hmm.
um my thought pattern, which is not, I mean, it's not abnormal. That is what parents are for, right there for guidance.
Very true.
Um, but the way that we the way that we raise our children, or especially like the way that I see you raise your children, is to promote and groom them for thinking for themselves, living for themselves, dreaming for themselves, being selfish a
Right.
little bit. Yeah.
Right.
But I feel like people who are able to live out their dreams and do not live under, the influence or the dreams of other people, they achieve more. As
Okay.
the Elon Musk, the Bezos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Very good. I
Oh,
think the
go ahead.
fear, yeah, you were getting to a quote about fear, and I wanted to, I know I had actually picked up one that he was talking about. He says, um, as you are going on your path, right? He indicated, do not let the fear of others rob you of the power of your yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
And how he had, he talked about how he had to exert that power by bowing out of one of the most lucrative opportunities he experienced within his career.
Mm-hmm.
He said it was a decision that impacted his standing within the industry and it hurt him financially. But during this particular experience, he learned what he learned is that it set him up for embracing risks and giving him permission to fail.
Mm-hmm.
Failure was no longer a byproduct, but failure was the goal,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I just thought that was pretty awesome to, that he shared that particular story with us. Okay, okay. Was
And
there
the way
anything
he was
else you
able,
had?
and the way he was able to manipulate that to take something that traditionally has a negative connotation, right? Failure has a negative connotation for us,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
be able to pull and use the power of what it meant for him strategically to achieve those things. And then the other one was preparation is the sign of your intention.
Okay.
That was big for me,
Mm-hmm.
um, because I don't know if you remember in grade school, like the signs, how they had the signs around the classroom for motivation,
Mm-hmm.
um, self-help, I guess. And I remember, oh, you know what? Even when I was in nursing school, we had those kind of motivating posters around the room,
Okay.
uh, and it most of them all had parallel concepts that basically say, if you fail to prepare to fail.
Mm.
Um, And so that resonated with me, that part, because I was intentional about my preparation for the things that I desired to work out for me.
Okay.
So with that being said, it I don't think that I don't think now, I think because they're making things so easier
Mm-hmm.
that you know, with AI, with all of these tools,
Mm-hmm.
um, it's going to make preparation, it's going to streamline preparation so
Mm-hmm.
that we can be even more successful.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I love
so
AI, girl. Let me tell you, I was talking to Daddy the other day about that. I was like, oh my God, thank
just
you.
so yeah, so
Oh,
refine your preparation and you're searching and digging and like, oh, I know exactly what it is, as long as I know how to use the resource,
exactly. Exactly. You have
I,
to
I
know how
can
to
be
use it
successful
properly.
with whatever it is. But and this is not really a sidebar, it kind of goes along with it. Like when you're preparing anything, your resume, your um, say like an email, if you're preparing a presentation for not just work, but a presentation for anything.
Right.
You want to polish, anything that you're going to say. You tap into the AI resource to, refine it, make it great.
Right.
But
Right.
you know what? The only downfall I would say to AI is going to be some people are not going to sound like who they actually are.
This is true.
But we're going to get a lot of catfishing and people who aren't really who they say they are because AI changed the words a little bit.
That is very true. That is very, very true. But I think over time, as people become more familiar with understanding how to leverage AI most effectively, they will find their voice. Because even if that, there's programs out there right now where AI is basically, you can find your voice. Or you can provide it how you speak, and it will generate content based on your style. So it actually already exists, but a lot of folks don't know the different programs that help you to develop content in a manner that is connected to who you are, that is reflective of your voice.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, that's a very, very good point. Was there another was there another um key point that he addressed? I think you said you had three.
Yeah, those are my three.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Well, so let's talk about in the book, we learned that a certain experience set him up for embracing risks and giving himself permission to fail. As I shared earlier, failure was no longer a byproduct, failure was the goal. So, personally, how do you view failure and how does this play into your or you taking risks?
I mean, I so I viewed for me, failure has always had a negative connotation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's just from my background. Really, if I look at my sports background,
Okay.
right? Losing a game means you failed.
Right.
You are so hard on yourself. You are because the work, sweat, and tears that you put into, you know, your sport and then to go out there against an opponent and lose, well, that's failing. As a matter of fact, you got punished for it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We were punished for it. But now listening to Leslie and how he framed it, failures are actually what make us stronger. And it sounded so cliche, but it's true. It's actually what builds you. It's kind
Mm-hmm.
of like if you don't, then you would think you're so great, you're so perfect.
Mm-hmm.
You have a skewed perspective. Uh,
Mm-hmm. It
and then
does ground you.
it does right. Failure grounds you,
Mm-hmm.
but what was I gonna say? You
Humbles you.
huh?
Humbles you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But like if you don't fail, you're not really growing. There's no growth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. He talks about the fact that I mean that's your learning. That's when you number one making mistakes. Period is learning,
Mhm.
and it's all about that learning process. And I think what folks get confused is if you make a mistake and you're constantly making a mistake and you're not learning from your mistake, right? And we see this a lot, like with people with addictions or things that really it's addictions. You find it a lot in where folks just cannot get over their addiction. And they keep doing it over and over and over and over again. And they just really are not learning about all of the negative things that occur because of their addiction. That's where I see it a great deal in terms of when people make mistakes and they're failing. It's just that if you're not learning from it,
Mhm.
but there's nothing wrong about making mistakes. And he talked about when he was a kid or and just going through school, how he felt like school did not resonate with him. It was not helpful, the traditional school environment, because the school environment, and actually Ray Dalio talks about this from a workplace environment. We have to develop safe spaces where individuals are allowed to make mistakes.
Mhm.
They are allowed to take grand risks and fail, and
Mhm.
that's okay. And we also learned about that in Design Your Life with product engineers. They are all about going through life, going through when they are developing a product, and they ask their engineers to think wild, right?
Mhm.
And that's what we're supposed to, as individuals, set up environments to allow people to think the most unthinkable and provide them the tools and resources to be able to bring that idea into fruition if it's possible, or
Mhm.
at least provide them that support and substance to help them bring it into fruition.
Mhm.
So yeah, I like that component of what he shared with regards to that. Was there anything else in terms of, for you personally, when you view failure, and how does it play into you taking risks?
I think because I have grown. I don't think I would have, my younger self would definitely not have done this, because I was fearful at a point in my life of failing, but now I see clearly the importance of failing at something to
Hmm.
achieve or attain a certain level of success, because it is a theme, so to speak, among goats or people who have just extraordinary talent. And again, I always like to use Elon Musk, but we're talking about
Michael
Leslie
Jordan.
here. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, um, those great people, even Beyonce.
Well, what's interesting though is that even though while they were going through life, they had many no's, right?
Hmm.
Every time I think about that, something that came to my mind was that even though they had those no's, within themselves, they believed, right?
Right.
Within themselves, they knew they had the talent and they were working towards something great, becoming
Mhm.
something great. And although someone says no to you or does not see your value,
Right.
does not mean you don't possess that value.
Or that you have to see what they see, like what you
It,
said earlier.
mhm.
Yeah, just the story that someone else writes for you doesn't have to be, they're not the narrator of your story.
Not at all. Not
Mm-mm.
at
And I
all.
think
And
sometimes we are victims of that, or
mhm,
but you have to undo that by saying, I'm not going to be a victim to that. Like, I'm going to write my own story.
right, right. Exactly. Exactly. I want to pull in a quote while we're talking about this particular topic. I was on Facebook, and this was something that just really it really spoke to me. It was by Basil Matelia, from Kenya. Sorry, Basil, if I jacked your name up. It's spelled like the seasoning, basil, the herb, Basil, Mutalia from Kenya. But he said, if milk gets bad, it becomes yogurt. Yogurt is more valuable than milk. If it gets even worse, it turns to cheese. Cheese is more valuable than both yogurt and milk. If grape juice turns sour, it transforms into wine, which is even more expensive than grape juice. Don't let your mistakes get you down. Mistakes are the experiences that make you more valuable as a person. And I tweaked his last line a little bit. While practicing your craft, don't be afraid to make a mistake or fail. Mm-hmm. It is going through that process of failing up that helps you to progress towards perfection. It's mistakes we learn from that makes us perfect. So I really hope that, as we are going through our lives, we allow ourselves, and I say it all the time, give yourself grace. When you think about Albert Einstein or any of these individuals who became who they are today, while they were going through that process, best believe they was jacking stuff up. Okay, they were making their mistakes. We just didn't see it behind the scene. Mm-hmm. And so it's just so important that we just give ourselves grace and do not try to define your success based on someone else's expectation of you. Mm-hmm. You really have to, what goals have you set for yourself, and move towards completing those goals. And if it is that you finally reach or attain what it is that you were looking for, that is success. Mm-hmm. That's your success. It could be, oh my gosh, I couldn't get pregnant for many, many years. And all of a sudden I was able to have a baby, or I chose to adopt. Mm-hmm. You reframe your dream. That's success, right? And so I just feel like we have to give ourselves grace, and just understand that this is life. These different things that we're going through life, this is all about being human, and not foregoing or missing on the fact that we have this human element to us. Mm-hmm. Even Adam and Eve jacked things up, which is why we can't walk around butt ass naked and do the shit we want to do.
Well, Kanye and his wife can, or Kanye's wife can.
Right? Oh my God. But okay. So let me ask you this. Let's talk about failing and development. How do you feel that failing has developed you? So we talked about, you're really not growing. Talk to me, or give me, if you could, a specific thing that you may have failed at, and what were your learning lessons?
Yeah. Actually right now, like with starting and stopping a PhD program.
Okay.
Failing at writing when it's something I love and something that I've always done so well. Because I could write and I could think of things, like, especially like with creative writing, like I had absolutely no problem. You tell me to create something, like you could just give me a line, mm-hmm, and I can run with it. Like it would turn into like, how did you get that story like that? But I don't know if it's, but right now for me, and what bothers me the most is starting and stopping my PhD program.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel it's stopping or pausing?
Well, because I end up having to go back through, the same steps to start again. So, not being able to finish that through, like everything else I've done, I started it, completed it
Okay.
from start to finish the way that I was supposed to. And I'm wondering, what is the barrier? What is it? Well, and I know life has changed for me. Got a lot more responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
And I just keep moving. But I think that failing at completing things the way that I have always completed them, or doing things the way that I have always done them, or the way that I feel that they should be done. I think failing at that, it bothers me. And now how it's developing me is it's like, okay, when you start again, which will be soon, when you start again, you have to do something different. You have to change your mindset. You have to sacrifice. You have to let go of some things. And I think that's been part of my struggle, is that I haven't been willing to let go of things for just the time being. Because I think because I have so much going on, I don't want to fail at something else that I'm doing.
Right. Rightfully so. Well, and there's nothing wrong with reassessing your life and where you're at, because sometimes we take on too much and we have to take a step back and say, oh my goodness, whoa, I really didn't realize how much I was taking on.
Mm-hmm.
And in order for me, because you don't want to half-ass everything, right? So in order for me to be ensure that I do this and do it well, I'm going to put this on pause. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with pausing.
Right.
Especially if it's a goal that you truly want to accomplish, and going through that process of pausing, reassessing, because even as I'm listening to you right now, you're not even sure really what put it on pause. So taking that time to go back, reassess, and say, hey, I'm putting this on pause because I want to do well. I really want to do well in this.
Right. I want to have
And
such an impact on the topic that I chose, but I just think that it just really, like, I was so bothered by it, like I'm willing to just not do it at all.
but think about what you're saying. So one of the reasons that you put it on pause, I'm about to help you out here. One of the reasons that you put it on pause is that you wanted to open up your own clinic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And within your clinic, you're serving underserved populations. And a part of the populations that you are that are underserved are individuals in the LGB. I'm going to jack that up. TQI double.
Don't do us. Don't do us. LGBTQIA plus plus plus.
Okay, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in HR anymore, so I don't have to be politically correct. But so because you want to serve that population, now you are actually creating your own, not a lab, but your own environment to help support your thesis, to help support your overall agenda with why you went to doctoral school in the first place. And now you don't have to deal with bureaucratic nonsense, requesting for individuals to give you an opportunity to service the population that you want to service. You are now creating your own environment in which to grow and develop, right? And then you don't have to work with folks who might take your ideas and things of that nature. You truly are developing your own playground, if you will, for this population that has really been underserved.
Right.
So I don't look at that as a bad thing. I think that's pretty brilliant of you to do. Maybe you didn't think of it from that perspective, but it just popped in my head like, this is not such a bad thing that you paused to get this off the ground running, because now you will have the forum to really add value within your program,
Mhm.
because now you can see the patients you want to see and do the different, when they come to you with a respective issue, you really get to go deep into it. And it's not like you have to see 25 patients a day, do not spend time on this and that, and right, so now you kind of created your own, I don't know what
Show. I'm running the show.
yeah, you're running the
I
show.
get
So
to,
I
yeah,
honestly, I don't know if you looked at it from that perspective, but
I
I
didn't,
hope you say that again.
I didn't look at it from that perspective.
Girl, you just opened up a whole opportunity where you just don't have to deal with nonsense, right?
Mhm.
You don't have to dealing with other people and their nonsense, so
Right.
that you can truly focus on the population that you want to serve and do it well, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, kudos to you for making that decision. Not a lot of people can do that. I had to make a very similar decision as well, because I think I'm going. I know I'm not thinking. I already know I'm transitioning into another phase within my life. So I really love what you and I are doing. This is the piece of me where I was professionally developing folks, and when that door closed, I created another one. Right, proactive is the way. I'm not
Right.
giving it
Yeah.
up. I'm not giving this up, right? Because now I have my own, I have created my own environment to continue to do what I love to do when all the doors were closed on me. So, I think we have to be mindful of how do we continue to do and live out our dreams when it gets hard, when it becomes very difficult. And thank God that these type of platforms existed.
Mhm.
I did get the vision from someone, but I was like, oh my God, I can do this a different way. I don't have to do it the traditional way,
Well,
right?
check it out.
Mhm.
Daddy always says, because you spoke to how doors were closed, and you also spoke to how giving yourself grace, and that just made me think when you said that you know what, you could just be like, you could take things lightly, and giving yourself grace, you could say, I didn't want to go through that door anyway, and then it made me think of what Daddy always says, some people go through the front door, some go through the back door, some go
Go
through the
through
side.
the side door.
Does he say that to you?
I've heard him say that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But
it's
we
okay.
think it's only one door, and I think like with failing and developing ourselves, we have to be willing to be creative,
Mhm.
create a different way, and it may just bring you you'll probably attain, higher all of your goals, if you
Mhm.
think that way,
Absolutely.
as opposed to subscribing to someone else's way. Because
Absolutely.
what I'm finding is, and what I found, and the reason I had to branch off it, I was just like, enough is enough in a good way, like,
Mhm.
because I know a better way. I don't have to share that with you,
Mhm.
and you, but I don't have to share that with any organization, any other
Mhm.
person.
Getting approvals and
Yeah, just get out there, do it, make your impact, because we all want to make an impact.
yeah,
We
and we only have one life. One life. And why are we going through this life having to jump through freaking hoops 24/7? I don't understand that, where individuals stifle growth and don't espouse or create an environment where folks just really can take the ball and run with it. If it's a damn good idea, go ahead and support that person and provide them the tools and resources to flourish. Because what we've done, and it's all because of fear, whatever the heck we fearing, I'm going to assume it's power, losing power, is what folks are fearing. They're going to lose power, they're going to lose money, or they're not going to be perceived as this, whatever it is that the accolades, etc. But when we have all of this hindrance that's taking place, you see someone successful, but you're constantly blocking them from that success versus allowing the door to flow open. And I'm gonna go back to something I saw. I'm gonna go back to something I saw, and I think I shared this before, because of people's fears and why they block success. Um, what was the name of the girl? I think she, Cash Money or something like that. Something girl. It sounded like it was from the hood somewhere, but she was like, look at this bread aisle. Look at this bread aisle. Okay, when you look at this bread aisle, you got 100 different companies selling bread. Everybody had the same idea, but that doesn't mean everybody can't eat.
Right.
You know, and I just thought to myself, I was like, why? So why do we hinder this? We should be supporting, we should be promoting, no matter, even if it's the same amongst individuals. So like what I'm doing, there's a bazillion self-help podcasts out there, and I love that environment, right? Because what I think, which is why we brought on guests, what I think might be just my way, my understanding. But when you put us all together, we all can bring something to the table. We all serve as a key to help with growth, to help with development, right? So to help with progressiveness. Because I'm tired of how slow, yes, I move extremely slow. But I am talking about with regards to our world, the state of affairs within our world. Okay. I'm allowed to move slow. I'm one individual, right? But when we're looking at our world and all the things that we have developed when we were kids, watching these different movies, and I say this all the time, if we have the ability to conceive it in our mind, that means it's possible.
Right.
Right. But perhaps we don't have the resources. But if we truly believe that this is something of value and will help to progress society, let's move. Let's move on it. Right. Stop hindering progress. Last question. So we already talked about a couple of quotes within his books. Within his book, were there any others that you felt that you were able to identify with, or any others that resonated with you, and why?
Spectacular failure is the secret ingredient to your ultimate success.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I liked when he talked about faith, right?
oh, yes, when he talked about faith.
Yeah, faith will deliver the reminder that disappointment and failure don't have to be fatal. In those times when you have done your very best and still come up short, faith fills in the gaps between your reality and your dreams. Faith is what sustains you in the wilderness. This man is brilliant. I was like, oh, I like that one. I really like that one.
I like the one where he said, I will forego being liked by our audiences and settle instead for being understood. I think that's important.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I like this one that he shared, because I think a lot of people, do so much analyzing and kind of just they analyze or overanalyze and over research and try to over prepare versus just getting started. I always used to say to folks that I am an agile project manager. I am the type of person, and my boss actually, she put it into a wonderful phrase for me. But she said, Toya, she said, we gonna build a plane while we flying it. Basically,
I love
right? I,
saying,
I love that when she put, I was like, that's exactly what I do. You just get started.
just get started.
Just,
Toya, that is what I said about this clinic. I said,
yes,
you know what? Just girl, go ahead.
yeah,
Because
just,
and you know why too that I got motivated to down the street from the house in LA. It's a Thai restaurant opening, right? And I
okay,
see people in there, they ain't open. They doing a soft opening right now. But what
okay,
they did was they went ahead and got started.
right. Just get
Like,
started.
and let's go ahead and we'll do all this taste testing and go ahead
Mm-hmm.
and get the building so we
Yes,
going to work out of and
yes.
go ahead and line things up. And I said, you know what? That's the route I'm gonna have to take.
Yeah, and
I keep waiting we keep waiting for the right opportunity for the right time. It's never gonna be the right time.
not even when you're fully prepared.
No, it's not. It's never the right
Even
time.
those who said that they were fully prepared, they lying. They
They
was not fully
Oh,
prepared.
I have so many examples of that. And so I don't even know what I was waiting for. What was I
What
waiting for?
what are we waiting for?
I'm out here
Absolutely.
building someone else's dreams, and I could have been done. I
Could
could
have
have.
been done. Yes.
Like, yeah.
But he said, if you are willing, go ahead and get started. If you are willing to take one meaningful step on your own behalf towards making a dream come true today, the universe will meet you where you are and help you take two. It will never shortchange you. When you take steps to better yourself, it is never in vain.
The universe conspires to the universe will conspire to make you successful.
Yes. Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely. Absolutely. So don't wait. Don't wait. Go ahead and, um, once you have that idea, start moving forward. Start moving forward with it, and you'll be amazed at what starts to happen. Opportunities, things that you didn't think about will start coming into your mind to help you through it. And I'm not saying don't plan, okay? I
Right.
mean, have the idea, have as much as you can in terms of planning and flushing it out. But when you come to a standstill, if that standstill does not hinder you from getting started,
Right.
go ahead and get it started. And this is even with you opening your clinic, right? You was like, okay, I got the building, right? But
Mhm.
then in terms of additional, because you're going to be assisting underserved populations, I was like, okay, now it's time. Let's get some grants in here, right? Let's continue to help build on. We need to talk about, what it is that you want to truly focus on, and
Right.
then start building that platform with regards to how we are going to serve this population. And it's okay.
Mhm.
It's okay to we can build the plane while we're flying it, right?
Mhm.
We ain't Boeing.
Hey, we did it for 2.5 years with COVID, didn't we?
Yeah, very true, very true. It was a whole hot mess though. But what came out of that, especially when I think about kids and schooling, is now these schools, they got their stuff together. They
Mhm.
are getting their stuff
Are getting
together, making sure that if something like this happens again, this is why it's good sometimes when um shit fails, right?
right.
You begin to think, oh my God, that was an utter mess. How do we make sure that that doesn't happen again? And now you see all these schools, these public schools having hybrid programs, and making sure that their
Make-
students have laptops and access to be able to get resources. Now they're starting to think outside of the box while they was sitting on their derriere not doing anything, right? Not thinking differently about how we can educate our students, how we can provide an environment that is flexible, that is hybrid, that will help to service them and help them to be more innovative thinkers, right? So it's amazing when shit falls, how we just come out of the woodwork with innovation.
Surprise! We can
Surprise! I take it. I love it. I love it. All right. All right. Was there anything else you wanted to share?
No, I just am thankful and grateful. And I just want to start ending these sessions with just being thankful and grateful to the Most High, whoever he or she is, to be able to even have this opportunity to be able to even wake up daily and be able to share, just even that I get to spend this little bit of time with you, because we don't get to spend a lot of time because you got the kids and you got your thing going on. I got my things going on. So just, ending with thankfulness and gratefulness. A word of thankfulness and gratefulness. But when you said something about possibility earlier, there was a Lauryn Hill has a song, and Lauryn Hill is timeless, right? None of her music hasn't had an expiration date.
None of it. Never will.
It never will. And I find myself, when people are saying things like, her voice comes into my mind, I can like sing an explanation to what they're saying from something I heard from Lauryn Hill. Mm-hmm. But when you talk about possibilities, there's actually a song I think our audience or listeners should listen to by Lauryn Hill, but it talks about possibilities. And of course, I don't have it pulled up, but it's like, because I know it's possible. And she keeps going on about possible, with the acoustic guitar and how she's playing it. And that popped in my head when you talk about possibilities. But we didn't expand on the concept.
No, that's okay. That's okay. But yeah, I mean, everything is possible, right? Mm-hmm. Even in the impossible, possible.
She says right? That.
Even in the impossible, I am possible, right? So all things are possible. We just have to we just have to, number one, give ourselves grace as we're going through the process and trying to figure out how to make what we feel is impossible possible. And then truly,
here it is right here, Toya. I'm sorry, I didn't find it.
Go ahead.
It was called "I Gotta Find Peace of Mind." And she said, I gotta find peace of mind. I know another chord. I gotta find peace of mind. See, what that voice in your head says when you try to get peace of mind. I gotta find peace of mind. I gotta find peace of mind. He says it's impossible, but I know it's possible. He says it's impossible, but I know it's possible. He says, there's no me without him. Please help me forget about him. And then she's talking about a relationship, but she goes on the hook. One of the hooks is just like, because she got a lot going on in this song. She's a storyteller. So she's telling,
a brilliant storyteller at that.
She's so good. She's so good. But that's what popped in my head when you said something about possibility. And
yeah. But everything is possible, and give ourselves grace. Get the naysayers out your head. I don't know how many naysayers I got floating in my head, but I just know deep down in my heart that I feel like I know I'm in a good space. I didn't see it. I did need help to see it. And now that I see it, I'm like, oh my God, I'm on the right path. I'm on the right path. And when you're on the right path, what happens?
A whole bunch of shit.
A whole bunch of shit.
Coming at you from every angle, and you like, well, damn. All of this for one of that, for the simple that. I mean, Toya, I say that all the time. I was like, well, I literally what? Like, I'm stuck. I'm like,
it's like the universe is like, does she really want this or not? I'm just going to mess with her a little bit.
Go ahead.
Can you sit yourself down somewhere? Because I am not paying attention to you.
Let me go ahead and let that ink run out that pen when she get ready to write that check.
Ink run out the pen? Oh my God. Or your bank account. Hello? Let that.
You know what I find though, Toya?
What's that?
You know what I have found out though, for real, is that the less you worry about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
For example, let's say like with money, I don't
Mm-hmm.
worry about money.
Mm-hmm.
Got plenty of it.
Right.
I feel like the less you worry about it, like it's not, but I think it's like with manifestation and meditation and things like that, and those teachers of that. And I'm not grasping on to, like prosperity teachers, people who teach like the false part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just talking about the things you worry about, that's what's going to manifest. Because
Right.
for some reason, just I don't know, the negative part of things
Mm-hmm.
tend to have a bigger presence for some reason. But
Mm-hmm.
you quiet that presence by um not worrying about it.
All right, folks. Thanks for joining us today. That's a wrap. Up next, the tangential mind.
This month is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. On Kinky Knots Cafe and Proactive is the Way, we have been providing resources to help promote more awareness as it relates to sexual assault. Please make sure you go back on our social networking platforms at Kinky Knots Cafe and Power 77 Unleashed, as well as our website at www.kinkyknotscafe.com to view those resources. Sexual assault is a life-altering event. Many survivors are affected by the trauma for the rest of their lives. They may suffer from depression, low self-esteem, flashbacks, fear, and difficulty with intimacy. Unfortunately, many of these symptoms are compounded by silence and secrecy. Often, survivors of sexual assault do not speak about their experiences because they are ashamed, feel guilty, or blame themselves. Some survivors keep silent out of a sense of duty to family or fear of being ostracized for what happened to them. During one's victimization, they may have learned to not express their feelings. To express them may have increased their risk of being harmed. In addition, they may have also learned that saying no did not work to protect them. In such circumstances, silence may have been the only choice that made sense. As a way of regaining one's power from an event that robbed them of control, some survivors find talking about their assault an essential part of the recovery process. Learn more about how to effectively use your voice to speak out about sexual assault, or if you know someone who has been sexually abused, please visit the National Sexual Violence Resource Center at www.nsvrc.org to acquire more information. There will be more details in which you can find within our description. Join us in 2 weeks as we commence our next series on Embrace Reality and Deal with It, where we delve into the profound topic of embracing reality and thriving amidst its challenges. We will explore the transformative power of understanding how reality works and effectively dealing with it. Drawing inspiration from the insightful words of our speakers, we'll uncover the importance of adopting a mindset that views life as a series of puzzles to solve. With each obstacle conquered, we gain valuable principles that enhance our decision-making skills, propelling us to higher levels of success. Discover how aligning our emotions with logic enables us to make better choices and navigate through life's complexities with clarity and purpose. Through visualization and innovation, we'll learn how to turn our aspirations into tangible realities, embracing the exhilarating journey of growth and self-discovery. To help us explore this topic, we will be reading in Principles, Part 2 on Life Principles, Chapter 1. embracing reality and deal with it. And we will leverage a supporting book, Win Your Inner Battles by Darius Furrow. We look forward to you joining us on this transformative journey as we uncover the secrets to thriving in the face of adversity and unlocking our full potential. Tune in and let's embark on this empowering exploration together. To access all replays or learn more about Kinky Knots Cafe's Proactive is the Way, please visit www.kinkyknotscafe.com. Proactive is the way, my friends. Take good care.